Today he can repeat what he did against the Giants back out at AT&T Park.
Boy, he was really good that day, wasn't he? He beat Matt Cain and the Giants that day. No runs in 6 2/3 innings, couple of walks, 5 strikeouts. And his 4 keys to pitching success tonight is basically kind of a return to that. His first key, size 7. Yeah, he was on a roll, 5 straight games where he pitched into the 7th inning or better until his last time out. And home parade. Let's get him on this roll that the other 3 starters in this series have been on and pitched so well, and hope that his breaking ball is a little bit better tonight. Sometimes that's what causes him the most trouble.
The Giants, as you know, are a veteran ball club. They have a very, very rough night ahead of them. They have to play the Braves this evening, then get on a charter, fly all the way back to the West Coast, and start a series with the New York Mets at home tomorrow. So a number of their notables are getting an off night tonight. No Denard Span, no Aaron Hill, no Nunez, no Brandon Belt. But Kelby Tomlinson will lead off Bruce Bochy's Toyota starting 9 as the Giants try to wrap up their road trip, which so far has been rather awful. They're 1-6 so far on their trip to Colorado and Atlanta. Pitching problems have wrecked the Giants, a 7.20 ERA in their last 7 games. So once they turn the music down, we can get back to baseball. Kelby Tomlinson will go to work for San Francisco first.
I guess they've been saving that for an hour and a half.
No time even to introduce the Giants leadoff man. But here we go. Jaime Garcia's first pitch, a strike. Quinn Walcott has the plate. 74 degrees. An hour and 26-minute rain delay tonight. Fly ball center, Ender on the run. Into right center he goes, and he makes the play. Tomlinson's the first out. Kemp, Cincinnati, and Marquez for Atlanta in the outfield, left to right. Johan Camargo starts at third. Dansby Swanson, Brandon Phillips reunited up the middle. Matt Adams at first. Kurt Suzuki gets the start behind the plate. This is Joe Panik hitting .271. Panik, their second baseman, hits lefties well. 6 hits in his last 8 at bats against southpaw pitching, as a matter of fact. And he takes a strike. Good fastball.
Get that popping in there on the corners. Use his changeup and sinker. Good recipe.
Now the 0-2 pitch from the Braves left-hander Jaime Garcia. And it's swept off the plate. Mentioned Jaime's great game against the Giants out west on May 26th. They beat Matt Cain in that game. It was a 2-0 Atlanta final. The other part of the story was Jaime drove in one of the runs for Atlanta in that game. So he did it all on the mound at AT&T Park. Tonight seeking win number 3. Right back where it came from, and Garcia's got it. A strike to first. 2 outs.
You mentioned the rough road trip these Giants are on. They've lost 8 of their last 9. And since Memorial Day, they've lost 17 of 22. That's tied for the worst record in baseball since Memorial Day. And they've lost 13 of their last 16 on the road. Rough days.
Hunter Pence is the Giants right fielder, who was a big hero in the 9th inning for them last night. Got the game tied with a long home run. And he shoots one right at Marquez, and Garcia has a 1-2-3 opening inning. Atlanta goes to work against Matt Cain on a rainy night. No score. Well, since we're heading to the bottom of the first inning, it makes sense that the 1, 2, and 3 hitters are coming up for the Braves.
Yeah, it does.
Ender Inciarte, Brandon Phillips, and Nick Markakis will go to work against Matt Cain, a man that they beat out in San Francisco. It gave Matt Cain his first home loss of the 2017 season. Ender Inciarte's been red hot here on his home turf. Let's see what Matt Cain does in the series finale.
Matt Cain, 32 years old, 6'3", 230. Started off like a house of fire in April. Things started going south on him in May, and here in June it's gotten even worse. Look at those opponents' averages against. They've gotten higher each month, and he has a whip, walks and hits per innings pitched of 2 over his last 31 innings pitched. A lot of base runners.
The Giants have seen Ender Inciarte on the base paths all series long. He starts play tonight, 6 out of 12 against San Francisco in the first 3 games here.
Cain is 3-6 with a 4.99 ERA.
That's laced foul and into the camera well beyond the Giants dugout. That scattered some of the photogs. Hope everybody's all right. Way upstairs, 1 and 2 for Ender.
Matt's injuries and series of injuries have really cut into his velocity. Right now about 87 to 90 on his fastball. Still a good curveball, slider and changeup. Three-time All-Star.
One-two pitch is down and in. It's an even count.
Those last 31 innings, 51 hits in 31 innings and 12 walks.
Line drive into left field. That's going to get down for a hit. Slater played it safely. And Ender Inciarte has his 94th hit of the 2017 season. Again, he leads off the first with a base hit.
And another 5-game hitting streak for him. Fastball, not even a strike, just served it into left field. He is using line to line. He showed you that graph last night about where he hits most of his hits, and it's pretty equal distribution, but more to left than anywhere else.
So that's a thing of beauty for Brandon Phillips. Phillips with 10 career hits against Cain, a couple of them homers. There's the hits tote board among the National League leaders. Charlie Blackmon with 96 for the Rockies. We got clobbered again today by Arizona, 10-3 out at Coors Field. Driven toward right, pretty well hit. But on the track, Pence is there to make the play. Ender's going to tag. He's going to try. The throw to second's going to be late. Good base running by Inciarte to move up on a deep fly by Phillips.
That's a great read and good base running, as you said, Chip, based on what we saw last night with that opposite field homer by Kemp. You're inclined to think that it's at least going to be off the wall, so pretty smart by Ender to go back and tag up.
So productive out gives Nick Markakis an RBI chance. Nick has 38 runs batted in this year. And lifetime 3 hits and 8 tries against Matt Cain. There's that breaking ball, and Markakis smacked it foul for a strike. Crawford trying to keep Ender close at second. Pitch. Strike two.
Again, this fastball 87 to 90. Don't expect a whole lot off that. That one was at 89. By comparison to Jeff Samardzija, who pitched last night, that was probably more of his changeup.
On ball, 2 strikes. Nick is doing what he normally does with runners in scoring position again in 2017. He's hitting .324 this year with a runner at second or third. And more often than not, he puts the ball in play. Just 16 strikeouts with men in scoring position. Braves don't strike out much as a team. It's been real fun to watch. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Way high, even count.
When Kane was beaten by the Braves out in San Francisco on May 26th, he pitched a good ball game. 7 innings. He only gave up 1 earned run, 1 intentional walk, and 3 strikeouts. Took the loss.
But like so many of his Giants starting pitching colleagues, no run support for Matt Cain.
Right.
Only the San Diego Padres have scored fewer runs than the Giants on a per game basis this year. And that's who the Braves will see on the first stop on a road trip coming up.
2 really good foul balls by Nick with 2 strikes on him on fastballs in that he couldn't afford to take in case they came back over the inside corner.
He looked that one down and in. Nick Hundley tried to frame it, couldn't. Full count. The Braves hitting hero last night was Matt Kemp. He's waiting next. Payoff. Swing, fly ball, well hit right. Pence will wave goodbye. A home run for Nick Markakis.
Big league at bat for the professional hitter. Fouled off enough pitches till he got one to his liking, left out over the plate. Hello, Chop House. Number 3 for Nick.
His last homer was June 12th against Steven Strasburg in Washington. So Markakis up to 40 RBIs and Atlanta leads by 2. And for the Giants, they must all be thinking, here we go again. So keep adding on. Matt Kemp, the batter. That's smacked towards center. And Gorkis Hernandez puts it away for the second out. So you know who the first 4 are for the Braves. Matt Adams batting 5th on the Atlanta Toyota starting lineup. Suzuki, Swanson, Camargo, and Jaime Garcia, who now enjoys a 2-0 first inning lead. A strike to Braves first baseman Matt Adams, who's hit 11 homers in 30 games with the Braves. That's the second most home runs by a Brave in his first 30 games in an Atlanta uniform since Justin Upton hit 12 in 2013. A gentleman by the name of Sid Gordon also hit 11 back in 1950. A truly rarefied air for Matt Adams. Enters play at a .293 batting average mark. And Kane just struck him out to retire the side. Inciarte with a leadoff hit. Nick Markakis hit one into the chop house, and after one, Atlanta leads the Giants 2-0.
Ball is brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Let's go places. And SunTrust.
Well, the first inning certainly was worth the wait, wouldn't you say? Nick Markakis with a long 2-run homer. That supports Jaime Garcia, who leads Matt Cain after one. The Giants will send up Buster Posey to start the second inning. Posey gets the start at first base tonight, after working behind the plate in each of the first 3 games here in Atlanta.
Just 1 for 12 in this series. That hit came last night. He's dropped 14 points on his average.
He takes a shot toward right. Markakis over near the corner. That ball is slicing to the pole, and that is a fair ball, and it's a home run for Buster Posey. Posey in double figures in homers now, and that cuts the lead in half. It's 2-1.
Laid right off the pole, right?
Either that or one of the railings behind it.
Yeah, or just shaved it. No, off the top of the fence and then hit the pole.
So we've got the pesky pole. We're not calling that the Posey pole. Although he's on the board here in the Braves' new home, and it's a 2-1 game.
Pretty good.
Here's Slater. Austin Slater's hit a home run in the series. That's his only hit in 10 tries, but it was a big one. Turned around the game against Julio Teheran the other night. And he's behind 0-2. Lined into right field by Slater on an 0-2 pitch. That's something that has plagued Jaime from time to time. So a homer and now a single, nobody out.
2 strike hits and 2 out runs. Got away with one pitch that was elevated, got him to chase it, but not that one. That was out away from him where he could get extended. No time to put that ground ball efficiency to work.
Jaime got panicked to bounce back to the mound. See if he can get Crawford to do the same thing. Crawford hits lefties pretty well. .283 average. Overall hitting though just .246. And that one got away from Suzuki. And Slater will move up to second base with nobody out.
Set up away. Okay, change up down and away, down and in. He's couldn't reach it.
Now scored a wild pitch. So Crawford with an RBI chance. And he's going to get the runner to third as Brandon Phillips bobbles, recovers with a bare hand. Adams stretches out. What's going on out there? Runner at third, one away.
That rolled up off his thumb, his right thumb.
So Slater 90 feet away for Nick Hundley. He's knocked in 11 runs. Hundley 1 for 11 against Jaime Garcia. The Braves bring the infield in. Pitch is downstairs, ball one. This is not Nick Hundley's first rodeo. He's played with the Padres, Baltimore, the Rockies, and now the Giants. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, and with Jaime's ability to get ground balls, that's one of the reasons the infield's drawn in here. You don't want to just concede the tying run even this early, given his ability to get some ground balls.
Pop fly foul, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fan from Waycross, Georgia comes up with that souvenir. It's down near the Okefenokee Swamp, so they like the wet weather down there. That's why he made that play so well. One-handed grab. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Obviously came to the ballpark to make a big deal tonight.
Yes, he did. The pitch is down and in. The seating chart only tells us where the fans are from. It doesn't tell us what their names were, but that guy's name might have been Monty Hall. You never know.
Could have been.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Hundley went fishing, didn't get it. Big strikeout. First of the night for Garcia. Infield can back up with 2 outs.
Strikeout even better than a ground ball. Chased a bad pitch, but good movement on that 2-seamer. Moving away from him.
And the Braves will go ahead and walk Gorkys Hernandez and bring up Matt Cain. So the Giants have him first and third. And 2 outs.
Over his last 3 starts, Jaime only has 2 unintentional walks. His command's been good.
Kane 2 for 21 at the plate with 13 strikeouts.
7 career homers.
I don't like that. I like the first number better.
Okay.
And poked foul. Steve Reich 1 for Kane. Kane was born in Braves country down in Dothan, Alabama. Runner at first, Hernandez goes. Ball in the dirt. Nice stop by Suzuki. And the count now ball into strike. And his family then moved to Tennessee. Graduated from Houston High School in Germantown, Tennessee. And I hope that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, that's a good baseball hotbed right there, Germantown.
And he was Tennessee's Gatorade High School Player of the Year his senior season. 1 ball, 1 strike. Driven toward right. Markakis retreats. That ball is over his head. It's up against the wall. 2 runs are going to score. Kane's on his way to second. Throw there is going to be late. And Matt Cain does indeed swing a hot bat. He just doubled off the right field wall after an intentional walk. And the Giants have scored 3 and now lead 3-2. 2 out offense against Jaime Garcia.
Again, 2 out runs. His second double, his first 2 RBIs. Jaime trying to talk to that ball like you and I talked to our golf ball, to try not to go in the woods. This one didn't go out of the park, but it turned into a 2-run double.
So the Giants, with 3 runs in the second, have a 1-run lead. Posey hit a home run down the right field line. Slater reached with a single on an 0-2 pitch. A ground out and a strikeout. Marquis Hernandez walked intentionally, then Kane with the double a moment ago. And Tomlinson went around. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Ahead in the count. Make a good pitch like he did on Hundley. See if he can get a chase. He is really missing target.
And when he is throwing a strike, it is right down the middle.
Suzuki setting up in, pitches away, sets up away, it's in.
Jaime threw 7 pitches in the first inning. He's about to make his 21st here in the second. And it scatters the Giants on the rail. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now Tomlinson's got a full count.
If you haven't seen any of the other games in this series, you've already seen Tomlinson drive the ball to right center, Foul one off in this at bat to the right side, looking to slash the other way.
This one's hit to third. And the long throw to first in time to get Tomlinson, but not before the Giants and Matt Cain put a real hurting on Jaime Garcia. Buster Posey led off with a home run right down the right field line. Cain with a 2-run double, and after 1.5, the Giants have their first lead.
Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. And by Delta Airlines.
Hour and 26-minute rain delay here in Atlanta. Braves got 2 in the first inning. The Giants just answered with 3 runs themselves. Buster Posey, a tough man to keep down in an offensive series. He's erupted tonight with a long home run.
Yeah, back on track, which is a little scary. Braves were hoping Giants would get out of town and Buster could get hot when he got home to play the Mets.
So Matt Cain helped himself. He leads by a run. He'll face Suzuki, Swanson, and Johan Camargo for Atlanta. Suzuki with a .225 average, 4 homers, 18 driven in. He's seen Matt Cain a time or two. In fact, he's seen him 12 times and has 3 hits.
Matt Cain's got to feel like he gave himself a reprieve.
High fly ball toward left center. Gorkis Hernandez says he's got it, and he does, shy of the track. Suzuki gave it a ride, but he's retired for out number 1. The wind is blowing. Park seems to be pretty lively tonight. After all the rain, the heat, and the humidity, it is cooled off, but the wind is blowing and swirling. So we'll see if it carries as it customarily does out toward the Braves bullpen, should any of the Giants or Braves hit it that way tonight.
Well, you know, it's flowing briskly straight out to right. 2 homers that way already and a ball off the wall.
First pitch swing by Swanson, line toward left. Slater's got it. And quickly, 2 men are out for Johan Camargo. Gonna have to find out what Johan writes in the dirt before he makes his trip to the batter's box. He uses the knob end of the bat to scrawl something in the dirt behind the home plate circle. as he takes a called strike. Johan's done a nice job at third base for Atlanta. And 5 hits in this series, a couple of RBIs too, batting .321.
Keane likes throwing that high fastball. That's several times already we've seen him go upstairs when he's had 2 strikes on the batter.
High fly ball right. Pence retreating back toward the wall is going to have just enough room. And that retires the side. 3 flyouts sends Atlanta second. 3-2 Giants in front.
The Braves today. Jace Peterson was recalled from Gwinnett. Rio Ruiz was optioned back to Gwinnett. Now, when Jace was sent down, they wanted him to work on his timing at the plate. He did a pretty good job at that. He was hitting .338 in 17 games for them. They want to get Rio back down there, get him in that everyday role, because Johan Camargo has been playing so well that he's kind of taken over that third base job until Freddie takes over in a few weeks, and Jace will just slide right back in to that utility role that the Braves love to use him at.
Yeah, you're right, Kelsey, and he had reached base in all 17 games that he had played in, so he was doing a nice job offensively there. And with regard to Freddie Freeman, that's assuming in a month's time that he might play third.
Yeah, still a long way to go with regards to Freddie Freeman, who again takes ground balls and will be traveling with the Braves to San Diego, where he can get some more work in as he tries to come back from his fractured wrist. Here's Joe Panic, who takes downstairs ball 1. Jaime could use a clean inning. He had a 1-2-3 first through just 7 pitches. Through 24 pitches in the second inning. And was missing his target pretty consistently. There's a strike. Mentioned the 2-out hits, the 2 strike hits. Jaime Garcia this year has seen the opponents hit 196 with 2 strikes and 275 against him with 2 outs. Those are both pretty big numbers.
Yeah, that 196 doesn't sound like a lot, but it is.
So 2, 3, and 4 for the Giants. Panic, Pence, and Posey. That's pulled foul at first. Full count.
It sounds kind of like a law firm, only The name should be reversed, like Posey, Pence, and Panic.
I always love it when you hear ball players trying to rationalize how things are going, either for the better or worse. Yeah, how many times have you in your long major league career, Joe, have you heard a player or manager say, well, it's not time to panic? You know, we've got a lot of baseball left. I just wish one time, somehow, some way, somebody would come out and say, I've lost 11 in a row. We're 14 out. It's time to panic.
Yes. Where's the button?
Right. Bouncing ball out of play.
Jaime's splits between lefties and righties. Left-handers are actually hitting for a higher average, 257 to 231. But the home run by Posey was the 8th he's allowed to a right-hander and only 1 by a left-handed hitter.
Ground ball, foul. And Panic driving up the pitch count with a lot of 2-strike foul balls here. Of course, we'll never know how differently the Giants season would have turned out had Madison Bumgarner not gotten hurt. You lose one of the game's best pitchers. It's bad for your franchise. It's certainly bad for the game. Bumgarner, though, threw 45 pitches over a 2-inning simulated game in Arizona. Popped up. Suzuki will give chase. Right to the screen he goes and won't have a play. If Bumgarner came out of that all right, he's scheduled to pitch 3 innings on Friday. And if he comes out of that appearance well, then he's going to go out on his first rehab assignment for San Francisco.
Well, that's good news.
Game needs guys like Madison Bumgarner to pitch or hit and play. The game's great stars. Full count. And Panic takes a walk. Second walk for Garcia. First unintentional walk for him. That was a 10-pitch at bat.
Yeah, that was nice at bat by Panic. All those balls he hit sharply foul down the first baseline.
I'll say this for the Giants. They're not just folding their equipment bags up and saying, all right, let's go home. They had to sit out an hour-and-a-half rain delay. They're going to get home back to the Bay Area around 4, maybe 5 o'clock in the morning. And they've got to play the Mets tomorrow night. The Mets are in Los Angeles. So a big advantage you'd think on paper for New York.
It's my understanding that getaway games like this, especially to the West Coast and playing the next day, the basic agreement provides for an earlier start beginning next year.
Yeah, 4:30 I think is the latest that a team could schedule a getaway day. A little roller slowly hit. Camargo charges, glove, slips to first and made a beautiful play to get Hunter Pence.
I think you're seeing a lot of the influence of Ronnie Washington on a play like this. And it's because Camargo, on all the other slow rollers, when he first started playing third, when he got called up, he tried to barehand almost every one of these. And he's not bad at that. But sometimes it's better to go with the glove and make the throw like he did here. His arm's good enough to do that.
That is one excellent baseball man, Ron Washington. Here's Buster Posey, runner at second for him, and 1 out. The true value of Buster Posey is not just what he does behind the plate, but his ability to play first base and play that position well. So even on a night like tonight where Bruce Bochy's trying to give him a night off, he can still keep his bat in the lineup and not lose a thing defensively.
Perfect night to do it too. The left-handed pitcher, and have Belt take a night off.
Dangerous pitch for Buster Posey. And he unloads to left. Kemp on the run. Still going. Still going. Can't get it. It's going to bounce over the yellow line for a ground rule double. And that's going to score Joe Panik to make it a 4-2 Giants game. That ball found another gear. And Posey has 2 extra base hits and 2 RBIs.
2 big swings on the home run and then this double. Up and in. Turned on it. Quick hands to get up on top of that.
So the Giants have doubled up the Braves now. It's 4-2. And Austin Slater, the batter. He reached with a base hit on an 0-2 count. A sharp single to right field. And I can't remember a start this year where Jaime Garcia's location has been this bad.
Really up and almost the opposite of wherever Kurt sets up. Good off-speed pitch there. 2011 was the last season the Braves won the season series against the Giants. 6 years ago. Chance to do that tonight if they can win.
Fly ball well hit right center. Ender on the run. Still sprinting. Still going. Leaps up and he makes a great try but can't hang on. Posey comes around to score. Slater credited with a double and the Giants now lead 5-2.
May have hurt his ankle a little bit too and he came down. Great effort. I thought he had no chance. Another pitch up. Like he put his spikes into the padding here. And there's that drainage or whatever under the padding where his foot goes under the padding. Great effort. But again, a mistake by Garcia.
And the Giants are teeing off. 3 in the second, 2 so far here in the third. Chuck Hernandez out for a visit. They're taking the tarp off the Braves bullpen mound. As Brandon Crawford's going to dig in for the Giants.
Slater's been a good weapon for him in this series. Big 3-run homer 2 nights ago.
Yeah, I'd say 3 hits and 4 RBIs is making the most of your base hit chances. And that's been a huge hole for the Giants for the last couple of years. Who can play left field and who can give them some run production? Well, Slater's done that. Over his last 11 games, he's now driven home 10 runs. Oh, 2 to Crawford. Panik led off the third with a walk. Pence was robbed by Camargo at third. Posey and Slater with back-to-back doubles. 2 more runs are in. And a big swing and a miss takes care of Crawford for out number 2.
Breaking balls got him to chase some bad ones in that sequence.
Let's see if Jaime can avoid further problems here. Hundley struck out in the second inning. That was the second out of the frame. Gorky Hernandez walked intentionally, and then Kane hit one off the right field bricks. This inning's gone far enough. 2 runs, 2 hits. Runner goes, and it's popped out of play, foul. Slater had a great jump, and Hundley fouled it away. 0-2.
So left-handers have got to alternate their looks back and change it up. You can get into a routine of just looking once, and the base runner reads that, takes off as soon as you look back to home plate, and that's what Slater did there.
One ball, 2 strikes. Bouncing ball to Adams at first. He's going to take it to the bag himself, and that ends the Giants' 3rd inning. 2 more runs across. They enjoy a 5-2 lead. Jaime Garcia leads off next. Kane, he's set down the last 5 after Nick Markakis hit a 2-run homer in the first. In the Atlanta 3rd inning, Jaime Garcia, Ender Inciarte, and Brandon Phillips are the men coming up.
This is a wealth of runs for Matt Kane. I think he's the 2nd worst run in terms of run support in the league.
Fewer than 3 runs per start, 2.92 to be exact.
Already 5 tonight, 2 that he drove in.
Well, if you're to believe the averages, the Braves in June 11-9, they're averaging over 5 runs a game. They'll need more than 5 tonight if they're going to come back and beat San Francisco in Game 4. One ball, no strikes for Jaime Garcia, batting .158. The RBI he has came against Kane in San Francisco. got the call in her half, 2-2.
Even though the Braves trail by 3, you'd like the Braves' chances of coming back because the Giants are last in the league in homers and slugging, and yet they've already hit a home run and 3 doubles.
Posey with the homer. Kane, Slater, and Posey with doubles. And that's bounced out towards second. And the flip to first will take care of Jaime Garcia. 1 out. Kane's retired 6 straight. We go back to the top of the order, and Ender Inciarte, who singled and came home on Nick Markakis' homer. That ball's hammered toward the gap in left center. That's going to get down. Slater cuts it off with a bare hand, and Ender wisely throws out an anchor at first base. So he's 2 for 2.
With that outfield grass just saturated from all the rain, when this hit, it looked like it might get through for a double or a triple, but Slater almost overran it. Hanging slider right in the middle of the plate. Watch Slater, he almost overruns it when it kind of bounces and plugs, and he has to grab it with the bare hand.
'95 hits now for Inciarte. Brandon Phillips fly to right. Ender tagged up and moved to second on the play. And Phillips takes the strike. Brandon got most of the night off last night. When the game moved toward extra innings, he was called upon to pinch hit and play an inning or so defensively. Overall in this series, 2 hits and 12 tries. Almost hit him inside. 2-2.
Keep him on his pitch. Trying to get the other half of the plate back, that outer half. I was surprised to see today, given Kane's success, previous success with the Giants, 3 All-Star berths. He has a losing record in the big leagues, 104 and 113.
Really? Runner goes. Phillips squibs one up the middle. Panic, didn't, and got Phillips for the second out. So Ender advances to second on the ground out. And here's Markakis. Let's see if lightning strikes twice. I couldn't tell if Kane got a glove on that ball or not. So for now, just scored a 4-3 put out.
Be nice to pick up that 1 run right here. Pack away at the deficit. For Markakis, he's now up to 40 RBIs. And when you only have 3 home runs, that's doing a lot of damage with base hits and runners in scoring position.
And conversely, when we saw the Giants out west, Buster Posey had 7 homers and 11 RBIs at the time. His homer and RBI ratio now starting to sound and look a little more Buster Posey like. He's up to 10 and 27 now. Two balls, no strikes. Over the corner. Two balls and a strike.
That was pretty good pitching right there. He got a called strike 2-0 on a fastball that was borderline, and then he went just a little bit more off the plate where Nick couldn't reach it. Just foul tipped it. Tried it again. When you pitch a guy away like they're trying to do to Nick here, if the pitch is up, it's a lot easier to extend your arms and connect. If it's down and away, then you've got to reach for it a little more.
Breaking ball whacked into left field. Ender around third is getting waved. Slater loads up. His throw is terrible. All the way to the screen by the Braves on deck circle. And Markakis takes second on the throw. Let's see if he's all right. As Atlanta does get a run back, it's 5-3.
Big hanging breaking ball there that Nick didn't miss. And again, I mentioned the saturated field, and that's where they dump the tarp too, and they take the tarp off that was soaked. High breaking ball. Oop, little slip on the plate for Nick, but he's all right. And then a wet baseball launched.
That was a Jeff Francoeur special right there. I mean, he aired that baby out.
And Nick.
That's a single, an RBI, and a throwing error that puts Markakis at second. Now Kemp the hitter. And he takes a strike.
Nick slipped on the plate, slipped off the bag at second. Looks like he's all right. Again, comes through with an RBI hit and his 41st RBI.
Mentioned Kane and his career numbers. He will forever be known in San Francisco as the man who threw a perfect game on June 13th, 2012, the 22nd perfect game at the time in big league history. Perfect game against the Astros. He struck out 14 in his perfecto. Fly ball well hit towards center. Gorkis Hernandez on the run, still going, leaps up and handles and gets hammered by the wall. Gorkis Hernandez with a spectacular catch up against the fence, robs Matt Kemp and paid a very heavy price.
Like he was telling Hunter Pence that he hurt his left knee. Right into the chain link.
But he held on, and the Giants lead by 2.
the ball's jumping. I thought this had a chance to get out of here and came very close. Great timing by Hernandez, who limped off the field but is going to be able to stay in the game and actually lead off this inning. It was the chain link part of that fence that got him.
So as it happens so often, great play leads to the leadoff man. And it is Gorkys Hernandez, who was intentionally walked his first time up and scored on Cain's double. So Jaime Garcia now down just 2 runs. And he punishes Suzuki with that ball in the dirt. 1 ball, no strikes. I mean, Joe, he's not even close to the target, is he?
I've not seen him be this wild.
And it seems like when he takes a little off, he's got much better control.
I don't think he's overthrowing. There's something about his release point that's off tonight. That was a good pitch.
And he's been not around the plate very much, so he doesn't get the benefit of a close call. So Hernandez walks for a second time. That is 3 for Garcia tonight.
That was a real good pitch.
First time Garcia's walked 3 men at a game since May 31st. In a stretch of 6 straight games with 3 or fewer bases on balls in a game. After having a rough 3-game stretch where he walked 5, 5, and 4 against Milwaukee, in Houston, and at Toronto.
So he had 1 stolen base tonight. And don't assume that he'll just sit over there and wait for the bunt. He might go anyway. Jose Alguacil is the first base coach. He thinks he's the base runner. He's out there in fair territory.
Phil Nevin with the signs at third. The pitch is bunted foul. Well, as much rain as we've had in Atlanta, that is a perfect name for a coach.
Yeah.
Not Nevin, the other guy. Alguacil.
Need a little of that.
One ball, 1 strike. And bunted foul behind the plate. It's 1-2.
I've asked this question before, and I still don't know what the answer is. I don't know when it became okay for first base coaches to get in fair territory and tell the runner if there's a sign on or not.
You almost never see the first base coaches in the box. I mean, Alguacil's not in first base coaching box right now. Runner goes, swing and a miss. Suzuki's throw is off target, trickles into shallow center field, and not far enough for Hernandez to move up. Cain strikes out, but the stolen base is as good as the sacrifice. And back to the top, and Tomlinson with a runner at second, 1 out.
Nice play here by Dansby. He got just enough of this, and very close to interference by Matt Cain on Kurt Suzuki. But a nice knockdown by Swanson to keep him at second.
There's a big out to get. Tomlinson's lined out and grounded out. One ball, no strikes. The 1-1. Runner's going to try to go to third. Suzuki's throw is on the money. Got it. Gorkis Hernandez got a little greedy. And Suzuki guns him down for out number 2.
Boy, that was a break. Sinker handled nicely by Kurt and put it right on the bag.
So now the bags are empty for Tomlinson, who's got a 2-1 count.
That's 6 out of 22 for Kurt.
And a slow roller hit to short. Dansby's got it. Fires to first, and a little momentum swinging into the Atlanta dugout, perhaps. Matt Adams will lead off in a 2-run San Fran game. Saturday, June 24th, to celebrate everything great about the 90s. Get your tickets today at braves.com/90s night. Eddie Perez and Terry Pendleton appear ready.
Yeah, for Eddie, it's nothing new. For Terry, it is certainly posing for the 90s night promotion. But for Eddie, that's kind of like what he wears on the plane. I like the flip up shades.
So that's coming up. And as Matt Adams takes outside ball 1. Adams, Suzuki, and Swanson for the Braves. Another shootout at SunTrust Park. It's 5-3 Giants in front. That's had a good run over the last week plus. He's our Georgia lottery jackpot.
5 homers, 14 RBIs, I'll say. Big average. Didn't like that call.
Pop fly out of play by Adams, and we'll do it again. Swing and a drive way back, way out of here.
Gonna have to adjust it. Georgia lottery. Man, oh man. 6 homers, 15 RBIs in his last 10. Look at Matt Cain.
I think we're figuring out pretty quickly on a night like this, you cannot pitch up in the strike zone and expect to last long in this ballpark.
Nope. Matt Cain knew where it was going and he didn't want to look, but he thought, you know what, that was hit a long way. I want to take a peek.
I mean, got to admire it. How about the bunt by Suzuki? That's a thing of beauty. Oh, I love that play. Man in front of you hits a long home run. Everybody thinks, uh-oh, he's going to try to hit and go back to back, and then bang, he drops a beautiful bunt for his first hit of the night.
Look how deep Tomlinson was. Just can't do it much better than that.
So the Braves are knocking on the door again. Hear him?
No. Oh, okay.
Dansby Swanson is coming up.
Hard on your knuckles, huh?
Oh, yeah. Come on, man. Dansby flied out his first time. Hit it hard, but lined out to Slater and left. Base hit past Crawford. 3 consecutive Atlanta hits. And so a base hit for Swanson continues his great work in the month of June. That's our Zaxby's feature.
And it has been outstanding. 319, 1 for 2 tonight. Driving and runs. Like a changeup. It was not where he wanted it. Might have been a 2-seamer. Kind of hard to tell there on that super slow-mo, but a good swing on it. You know, Freddie Freeman got hurt well over a month ago. Seemed like about the 15th, 16th of May, something like that. And now there's a Braves player within 1 of him on homers. He had 14 home runs when he got hurt, and Matt Adams just hit his 13th.
Tells you what kind of pace Freddie Freeman was on, and we mentioned it when we were in Anaheim. The real tragedy was we were all looking forward to seeing Freeman and Mike Trout play. Both got hurt and both had remarkably similar numbers. Mike Trout's one of the game's great players, but Freddie Freeman certainly had not been getting his due for the kind of season he was having for Atlanta. As Johan Camargo bats and takes outside. Point being, if Mike Trout is the best player on the planet, and there are a lot of people who justifiably think that's correct, stack up Freddie Freeman's numbers with Trout's. Very, very favorable. Ground ball right side. Kane to the bag. Camargo with a productive out. Suzuki to third, Swanson to second. Jaime Garcia scheduled to hit. Let's see if he can put the ball in play and get this thing tied.
Well, you certainly wouldn't be bunting the runners up for the pitcher, but it did serve a purpose with that weak ground ball, at least to move him up and give Jaime a chance to hit a fly ball. And with runners at second and third, let's see how the Giants play it, because he hit a sharp ground ball to second his first time up. It's like panic's moving in a little bit.
Posey's in on the grass as well. Tomlinson even with the bag at third, just in case Garcia thinks about a bunt.
Crawford coming in now too.
Matt Adams with a tape measure homer led off the fourth. Suzuki and Swanson with singles. Camargo bounced out to first with the pitcher covering. And the Braves are within a run. It's 5-4 in the fourth. Good cut. 0-2.
You know, I said earlier that Kane was going upstairs a lot when he got 2 strikes on a hitter. That one was a bad try there, but he tried to do the same thing to to Matt Adams, and paid a bad price for it.
Now it's 1-2 for the Braves pitcher Jaime Garcia. Little tapper. Posey will apply the tag. So Posey playing in on the grass helped save a run there. Kane gets the second out. Runners second and third, 2 outs, and we go back to the top and into Inciarte. That's a big out for Matt Cain. But Ender Inciarte, 8 hits in the series. See if they give him much good to hit.
Cunley's having to jump around a lot tonight too, behind the plate for the Giants. Chasing a lot of pitches.
Anders knocked in 31 runs. And took another shot at left, fouled it back, even count. And after the heavy rains, turned into a very comfortable night, and the wind is blowing and the ball is flying at SunTrust again. Already 3 homers combined. Good take.
Yeah, that could have gone either way.
Same pitch, same call, 3-1.
With the base open, and Ender's aware of that, he's got to be very selective here. Make sure he gets a good pitch to hit. Even if he takes a borderline strike, he's still got another one to work with.
Ground ball to the right side. Panic's got it. And the Braves settle for 1 in their half of the 4th inning. And what a 1 it was. A long home run from Matt Adams leading off the frame. Braves are creeping back into this game against Matt Cain. It's now 5-4 after 4. To you by our friends at Audi. Matt Adams with a long home run cuts the Giants lead to 5-4 now. Jaime Garcia needs an easy inning. Giants helped him out with Gorky Hernandez thrown out at third base trying to steal with one out. But it's Panic, Pence, and Posey again.
I guess Gorky Hernandez's knee was okay after hitting the fence and trying to steal twice.
Panic rolls it foul, even count. Phillies won today. They beat the Cardinals 5-1. Aaron Nola got the win. Cardinals made 3 more errors. St. Louis just a odd team this year. Very un-Cardinal-like club. So they can't get any traction in the Central. They're 4.5 back.
Another club's made a lot of errors is the one that's coming to town tomorrow. Milwaukee's last in the league. 55 errors, I think it is.
They won today over the Pirates 4-2. As this one's hit toward right center. Ender on a flat out sprint, still going. He's going to look up, and that one's in the Atlanta bullpen. So Joe Panic hits a home run. And on a 2-1 pitch, Panic extends the Giants lead to 2 runs again.
Tell you what makes that disappointing is that there were runners at second and third, 1 out. If Jaime can't get through this inning, you could have pinch hit for him, but didn't know what was about to happen. Panic's been trying to pull everything and got a fastball up and down the middle.
So somebody's starting to play catch on the bullpen mound in right center for the Braves. As Panic continues his good work against lefties. And Pence now an even count.
Only the second homer by a left-handed hitter off of Jaime.
Jason Hirsch starts to limber up. 17 home runs allowed by Garcia to a left-handed batter in his career. This one hit toward left center, but Ender's got room this time.
Not any soft outs.
No. And here's Posey, who's got 2 extra base hits, 2 runs, and 2 RBIs. Lucas Duda, Colby Rasmus, and Joe Panic are the only left-handed hitting non-all-stars to homer off Garcia. I don't think Panic made the all-star team yet, has he? Check that. Nope, he did. 2015. I beg your pardon. So Jaime gives up a left-handed home run. It's to a real good player, including Panic tonight. Posey strokes that one toward the gap. Ender can't get it. It's up against the wall. Kemp backs up the play, and Ender Inciarte is going to need a timeout to grab some oxygen. He is racing from pillar to post in the outfield, and Posey has a 3rd extra base hit. And I think Brian Snitker's seen enough.
Well, he's not missing any barrels, that's for sure. And that'll do it.
So the 2nd straight rough outing for Jaime Garcia. His last 10 innings, 14 hits, 12 runs, and he trails 6-4 here in the 5th inning.
so he'll be fresh.
But can he get the ball down? That has not happened much for Kane or Jaime Garcia, who had a disappointing time tonight in his 14th start. Slater's 2 for 2. He singled, doubled, scored 1, knocked in 1. Big night for Buster Posey. It was only a matter of time. Unfortunately, that time is tonight. 0-2.
The home run he hit a couple of days ago and the double he hit tonight came on pitches that seemed to be a little up and in. And Slater got up on top of him.
Giants have a 2-run lead. Let's see if Slater has a green light. And he's a strike. Brandon Crawford's next. And ball 4. So Hirsch walks the first man he sees in the 5th inning. Double play, however, in order if Crawford obliges with a ground ball.
Yeah, not a good way to start. But you know what? Long relief is weird. It's not like you're coming in to face one guy. You're not brought in to necessarily be a specialist to get a double play and then be pinch hit for later in the inning. You're out there for a couple of innings, and you've got to almost treat it like a start.
A start in Hirsch's case with 8 days of rest.
Yeah.
So rest versus rust, really. Something to keep an eye on here. There's a strike. Crawford behind in the count. Crawford's been a terrific player for the Giants. Lifetime .252 hitter, but an excellent defender. In fact, Crawford's made just 1 error in his last 50 games at shortstop. The first shortstop to hit a grand slam in the postseason. He did that in 2014. One of 6 players in the history of the game to hit a grand slam in his first big league game. He's one of 6 men to have a 7-hit game in the major leagues.
Goodness, I didn't know that.
That came last August 8th against the Marlins in what was a 14-inning game, but still, he went 7 for 8.
That's a pretty good night.
In fact, the other 5 guys, 3 of them also did it in extra innings. Cesar Gutierrez for the Tigers in 1970 did it in 12 innings. Rocky Colavito had 7 hits in 22 innings. And Johnny Burnett in 1932 had 9 hits in an 18-inning game. Fly ball toward Kemp in left. He's on the run, still going, reaches up, and he held on. Matt Kemp with an over-the-shoulder grab hauls in that drive from Crawford. The runners are back to first and second with 2 outs.
Matt Kemp's not the outfielder he once was. He's not really even the outfielder that started the season because of a couple of hamstring injuries. And he's battling one right now. You can tell by the way he's coming to a stop, favoring his leg. But he runs that down, and that's a huge out, perhaps, toward the outcome of this game for the Braves. That saved a couple of runs.
And now Hirsch an out away from getting out of this 5th inning. Hundley 0 for 2, the Giants catcher, and that's speared by Suzuki. I mean, Kurt back there's like, man, tap dancing in a rope in a canoe. I mean, he's just trying to hold on for dear life.
That would be hard. I might have to try that.
Well, let me know. We'll get a Fox camera crew out to see how it works out for you. Posey at second, Slater at first, and now Hundley down to his last strike.
Boy, was that a good pitch at 96. Jason has an excellent changeup, throws an occasional splitter, but sometimes gets away from what is his bread and butter, and that's a good fastball.
Lined off Hirsch. Adams will field. No chance to get the runner at first, and let's see if Jason's all right. A missile right back to the pitcher. It hit him cleanly, and understandably he was late to react and get to first base. Chuck Hernandez and Brian Snitker along with Jim Lovell are going to come out and check on Jason Hirsch.
I would think so. This was a rocket back at him. Like it got him on his throwing shoulder. Yeah, right on that patch, and fortunately got his face out of the way. Oh man, that had to be a scary moment. Have to regroup a little bit after that. Throw a couple of pitches.
Hundley has the hit. I'm sure he's excited about that, but I would think from a hitter's perspective, that's the last thing a hitter wants to do is bounce a ball off a pitcher on a line like that. He'll take the hit.
That was close.
Hirsch. That was a close call. So Gorkys Hernandez, the hitter. He's the 7th man to come up. Braves have faced the minimum number of Giants hitters in an inning only twice so far tonight. And San Fran's got them loaded. And a shot toward short. Dansby will flip to Phillips. And Hirsch recovers nicely to get the final out. A leadoff home run from Joe Panik extends the Giants lead.
South continue their Community Heroes Week. They've done a great job with it today. Captain Piper Hill with Healing for Heroes. This was a really fun one. She is a retired Army captain with PTSD. She started a nonprofit to rescue dogs from high kill shelters. She then fosters them and trains them and donates them to veterans who need service dogs. Now, Piper, today was so much fun, and you do such an incredible job with this, and it's such a unique thing. So can you take me through this day and what happened?
Well, I was told, sorry, I keep reaching for the mic. I was told I was supposed to come for just an interview on veterans in different branches. And then I showed up and a group of people started coming in, and I looked over and I saw a friend of mine's daughter, and I was like, she happens to be in our office. Robin, what is Robin doing here? And then I saw my aunt, Becky, and then another, was he stuck? Oh, sorry, he was stuck. And then I saw three more aunts, and it was amazing. I mean, it was really a surprise. Yeah. And I just looked around, and I was surrounded by just a lot of people that I really care about, my family and my veterans.
Brandon Phillips just hit a mammoth home run as the Braves go to work against Matt Cain in the 5th inning. I'm telling you, hit it high and the ball's going to travel a country mile tonight. And the Braves are batting last, so you like their chances in this one. 6-5. Check out this rip. One of the longer home runs we've seen by a right-hand hitter here at SunTrust Park. So Kelsey, take it away.
Well, Piper keep talking all game if that means the guys are going to hit home runs. But can you tell us a little bit more about this nonprofit and how it started and what you do?
Yeah, I'm a veteran, and I have PTSD, and I have a traumatic brain injury, or I had one. I don't remember about 3 years of my life. What I do remember is a dog that stayed by my bed, Valentine. Every day she never left my side, and every time I moaned or groaned, she would check on me to make sure I was all right. And I just decided at the end of that period I was going to start training her to be my service dog, and then later I said, you know what, I'm going to do this for other veterans so they can have an advocate to go with them and help them fight their battles.
Well, you want to talk about goosebumps. That's when all of those veterans walked in today with all of their pups, like this one right behind us, that she has fostered and trained and given to these veterans. It's an incredible thing that she's doing. Chip and Joe, 2 more fun facts about Captain Piper Hill. 1, she was the first female mascot at LSU. 2, she had Spanish class with Paul Bird.
Really?
Fact. Wow. That right there is the best fact. He is an amazing man.
Yes, he is, Piper, and we salute your service. We thank you for your amazing work in the community, and blessings to you and your friends and for the work you do. It's really amazing, and I hope folks who are watching our broadcast tonight will always remember the men and women in uniform, but also remember the men and women who've come back and are dealing with battles that they've brought home from the battlefield. And Piper's certainly a testament to the strength and will of the human spirit.
Yeah, I just love the dogs, the service dogs, and what they mean to people, how they help.
Matt Kemp pops one up. That's over near the Braves dugout and into the seats.
I can only imagine the attachment that they have to those animals and how they make them feel. Look at that face.
So a 1-run game again. Nick Markakis at first with his 3rd hit of the night. Matt Kemp has lined out to center twice. He almost hit it out of the park last time up. And he just took a strike. It's 0-2. And on a night like tonight, I would assume from the pitcher's standpoint, it's a game of survival. Cannot make mistakes up in the zone because the ball is just jumping everywhere. See if Cain can get a sinker to work here. The pitch. Matt fought it off. Brandon Phillips with 5 homers now. Markakis 3 more hits tonight.
I mean, Brandon got all of that.
Driven out of play, foul. We'll do it again. 0-2. With his 3 hits tonight, Nick Markakis now 30 away from 3,000. I mean, it seemed like yesterday we were saying he was in the mid-50s. Night after night, Nick Markakis gives the Braves 4 quality at bats. 0-2 for Matt.
Oh,
spoiled another one.
Well, that was a breaking ball. Looked like it was up and in, almost like a afterthought that he fought that off. Nice job to stay alive.
Line drive. Hernandez can't get that one. And Bruce Bochy is making his way to the top step of the Giants dugout as Matt Cain's given up 3 hard hit balls to start the 5th inning and has nobody out.
Fastball in and on an 0-2 count. Matt just trying to cover the plate, had to fight it off, but still hit it hard.
So this has got to be awfully frustrating for Bruce Bochy. His Giants don't score many runs. They gave Cain a 5-2 lead after 2.5 innings. He can't finish 5 innings and can't qualify for the win.
I had him for a strikeout of Adams in the
excuse
first
me, you're
inning.
right. Thank you. 1 strikeout for Matt Cain.
This is Brian Morris in his 20th game. 92-95 on his fastball. Hard slider and a curveball. And looks like we saw Kemp go to the dugout. I thought maybe he was just going to the dugout to rest while the pitcher warmed up. But he's out of the game.
Danny Santana's got a pinch run for Matt Kemp. Atlanta's got runners first and second, down a run. And I think, Joe, you caught it on that long running catch by Kemp. He didn't look very comfortable on that grab off Mr. Crawford's bat.
Well, Matt Kemp is a guy who's going to play at way less than 100%. He's trying to give it all he can. He's been doing a great job even at that percent. But when he's got to go that far out into the gap, that puts a big strain on that hammy.
So Matt Adams, the hitter, 2 on, nobody out. And he was swinging for the chop house again. Didn't get it that time. Strike 1.
That was a hard slider. You know, we had that shot of Matt Cain there on the railing next to Jeff Samardzija, and they're talking a little bit. But as good as Matt Cain has been in his career, it is It's sad to see him pitching and trying to succeed with what he has left. He was so good for so long.
And this is a big year for him. This is a potential free agent year for Kane. There's a club option for his services for next season. But he's 3-6. His ERA is going to go over 5 runs a game. And he didn't pitch 5 innings with the lead, so can't win tonight after getting a big early lead. 1 ball, 1 strike. And Adams didn't get it. Lefties have worn this guy out. Morris has faced 27 left-handed batters. 11 of them have hits. He's also walked 7 guys.
Wow. That first slider would lead you to believe otherwise.
One-two pitch. And Adams laid off. That's our subject of the Cold Hard Facts, brought to you by Coors Light.
How about that? Only Cody Bellinger has more homers since May 21st, and just 1 more. What a story he is for the Dodgers. 22 homers, I think, on the year, and he didn't even make the club out of spring training.
Yeah, everybody else had a couple weeks head start. 2-2 pitch. Line drive toward left. That's going to get down for a hit. Here comes Markakis around third. He's going to score, and the Braves have tied the game. The lefties come through again against Brian Morris. That run belongs to Matt Cain. It's 6-6 in the 5th. 4 straight Atlanta hits in the inning.
Hard stuff, good pitches, and then a hanger. Left it out up there. We're up and away. Like I said before, if you just get your arms extended, if it's up, you can reach it. Base hit and an RBI.
So the Braves have come all the way back. And a long way to go in this game as we approach 11 o'clock Eastern time. Kurt Suzuki has a bunt hit. That came last time up in the 4th. And now things get a little more difficult for Atlanta. As badly as Morris has struggled with left-hand hitters, he's been dominant against righties. 46 right-handed hitters have squared off with Morris. Only 8 have hits and 3 walks.
I'm guessing that Bruce Bochy got him up for this matchup with Suzuki, given his success against right-handers. But when those line drives were flying everywhere after the home run by Phillips, Bruce figured he probably couldn't go another hitter with Cain.
No balls and a strike. Morris was a first-round pick by the Dodgers in 2006. Went to the Pittsburgh Pirates with Adam LaRoche. Adam was one of the big names in that 3-team deal. Craig Hansen and Brandon Moss came from Boston. Boston got Jason Bay, and Manny Ramirez went to the Dodgers. No balls, 2 strikes. Line into left field, a base hit. Here comes Santana around third. They're going to wave it. Throw toward the plate. Atlanta leads. Suzuki with an RBI hit. Love how aggressive Ron Washington is at third base. He's making defending teams make 3 great plays to get a Braves base runner.
Don't you love it? Especially when nobody can throw anymore. No outfielders can throw. They don't practice. Why not? Take advantage of it. Nice play here by Slater. Bad footwork, but he got the ball there up the first base line. That was the difference in safe and out. So Ronnie knows what he's doing. And another good at bat by Kurt Suzuki, lacing a fastball. Man, he can wear it out.
No answers for the Giants. 5 straight Atlanta hits in the 5th. Atlanta leads 7-6. The Braves' first lead since leading 2-0 in the opening inning. So a quick chat from Dave Righetti, the Giants pitching coach. Dansby Swanson, the hitter. He's 1 for 2 already tonight. And as rough as the pitching has been for the Giants, their bullpen has been just destroyed in Colorado and Atlanta. 18 1/3 innings on this road trip. They've given up 20 earned runs.
Goodness.
All 7 across for Atlanta belong to Kane. The runners at first and second belong to Morris. Line drive into left field. Adams will be stopped at third this time. It's 6 straight Atlanta hits. And the bases are loaded. Nobody out. Johan Camargo is coming up.
And as aggressive as Ron Washington is, you do have to know who your base runners are. Boy, look at Dansby get his hands inside that pitch. That was beautiful. And with Matt Adams running, Ron Washington didn't want to run into an out. Good call on that occasion also.
Let's see what Camargo can do. He's trying to get into double digits in RBIs. 7 runs on 13 hits for Atlanta. 6 hits in a row in the inning. Hundley with a nice stop. A leadoff homer by Brandon Phillips. Then 5 straight singles. Half-plated 3 fifth-inning runs. That's toward left. Slater on the run. The ball tailing away from him. Makes a terrific sliding, tumbling catch. Tagging on the play is Adams. He will come home, and Atlanta extends the lead. If he doesn't catch that, that's big-time trouble for the Giants. A marvelous play. Camargo settles for the sac fly. Slater replaces his divot, and it's 8-6.
This is a great catch. Because, again, if he doesn't come up with it going to the ground, there's nobody to back him up. There'll be guys running all over the place.
Lane Adams grabs a bat. He'll come on and hit for Hirsch. Hirsch went 2/3 of an inning. Gave up a very painful hit. A walk. No runs. Hopefully he's all right after Hundley struck him with a batted ball. And up and in. And Kemp also left in this inning. We'll update that when we hear more. Swing and a drive. Deep left field. Lane Adams has homered.
Wow. He may have done Brandon Phillips one better, a row better. pinch hit Jack on another slider in. His first big league homer. Holy smokes. And a no-doubter. Yeah, you got it, Nick. Man, oh man. What a way to get on the home run board.
A tape measure shot. The Braves have scored 7 in the 5th.
Do you realize where that would have landed in Red Oak, Oklahoma?
Yeah, Chickasha.
Yes.
Man, oh man. Ender Inciarte dumps one toward left. Slater near the line is there to make the play.
What a long way. Woo. All those good numbers against right-handed hitters have kind of gone south on Morris here.
Holy cow, have they ever. Braves have hit 4 homers. Even Brian Snitker looks on in disbelief as the ball is just rocketing out of this park tonight. Lane Adams' first big league homer. Brandon Phillips with a solo shot. The Braves have 11 runs on 14 hits, and they're not done yet. And tonight we're seeing how frustrating it must be for the Giants. Ordinarily, they just don't hit on this road trip, which again, it's Colorado. You have to take some of their pitching problems with a grain of salt. And SunTrust Park, which has been lively all week. But tonight they got 6 runs. That's almost 2 games worth for Bruce Bochy's team. And that Kane just could not stop the bleeding, and nor has Morris.
Uh-oh, Brendan. Grabbed his thigh or groin a little bit there. And did again.
Yeah, we don't need any costly victories tonight. Base is empty. 2 outs, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Remember, Jace Peterson was brought up from Gwinnett today, so he's available if needed.
He and Tyler Flowers, the only guys left over there.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And that buzzed the tower inside.
I tell you what they could do, though. Snitker could use Denny Santana at second base and leave Lane Adams in the game to play left field and save a player.
Right. That is, if Phillips has too much discomfort to continue. But Lane Adams, 3-run pinch hit homer. Yeah, that deserved a wink, as it's a 5-run lead. Ball 4 to Phillips. By the way, this inning is the second 7-run inning for the Braves against the Giants in this series. They scored 7 runs in the 8th inning in Game 1 on their way to a 9-0 victory. Tonight they've got 7 in the 5th. And Phillips is going to try to stay in the game after he drew a base on balls. McMarkakis is 3 for 3. He's already got one single here in the 5th. Line drive headed for the gap. Gorky Hernandez can't get it. Phillips is going to try to go to third. He's going to go to third without a throw. Nick Markakis is 4 for 4, and we're only in the 5th inning.
Just keeping a close eye on Brandon Phillips going first to third there, hustling all the way. Don't know what kind of pain he might be in, but able to hustle around to third base on that. Another pitch up. We've been talking about that all night, huh? Both sides.
So Danny Santana came on as the pinch runner for Matt Kemp. And Bruce Bochy's on his way out to talk to Quinn Wolcott. They have a couple of changes. Brandon Belt's going to grab a glove. He's going to come out and join the Giants outfield. Gorky Hernandez might be the man coming in. Slater might be moving to center field, and we'll find out who the new Giants pitcher will be in just a moment. Big inning for Atlanta. 7 across in the 5th, and they're not through yet. Back Sunday, July 16th. That's brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Don't forget to buy your field passes for $20. Get your tickets today at braves.com/need-to-breathe. That's exactly what the Giants need to do right now. They are down 5 runs, 11-6. Brian Morris gave up 5 hits. He's given up 4 runs so far. And now Kyle Crick is on for the Giants, making his major league debut.
Out of Sherman, Texas. Mid-90s fastball, slider, and a changeup.
And his first big league pitch is a strike.
At 95. 6'4", 220. Good numbers at Sacramento for the River Cats. A lot of strikeouts.
Crick was a sandwich compensation pick back in 2011 when Juan Uribe signed as a free agent with the Dodgers. The Giants got LA's pick, and this is who they took. And that's fouled off Hundley. Quickly 0-2 to Santana. Braves are 6 for 10 tonight with runners in scoring position. And a line drive into right field, make it 7 for 11. Santana has a hit. It came on an 0-2 pitch. It's 12-6, and the Braves have 16 hits.
Belt-high fastball. Ripped.
Matt Adams digs in. An 8-run inning. Brandon Phillips, some discomfort swinging the bat in the inning. Find out if he can continue in a moment. Going away.
Terry Pendleton was kind of in that frame a little bit, and talking to Brandon, and may have been saying, I don't know, but it's 12-6. Why risk any further injury in a 12-6 game?
Braves have already lost Matt Kemp, who came out of the game. No explanation yet as to why, but you can see how gingerly Brandon's walking too. One ball, 2 strikes for Matt Adams.
Said something about sandwich pick, and man, I got hungry.
1-2 pitch.
Oh, thank goodness for the screen.
Crick is ready. Here it is. High fly ball. Brandon Belt just checked in, and he's going to make the play. What an inning for Atlanta. The Braves score 8 times. Brandon Phillips got it started with a long solo home run off Matt Cain. Then Lane Adams against Brian Morris. His first major league home run, a 3-run blast into the Henry Aaron Terrace in left. And Atlanta now enjoys a 12-6 lead at home.
Of 12-6, not the only high-scoring affair in the National League tonight. The Cubs were having a whole lot of fun in the first of 4 down in Miami. Chris Bryant had the plate with a couple on, and next thing you know, he takes this Jeff Locke offering, and it is a 3-run home run. They also picked up big flies by Russell and Contreras, and they win it going away 11-1. Balls are jumping out everywhere, Chip and Joe.
Wonder if the ball's alive, Jerome. I mean, it's been unbelievable the number of home runs that have been hit in the major leagues. I think last weekend Major League Baseball set a record for the most homers in a 3-day period. A lot of them have left the park tonight as Jason Mott is on to pitch. Brandon Belt just fouled one off Kurt Suzuki, who took one flush to the chest protector, I think,
and got him in the ear. I don't know how this climbed up behind his mask. Oh, it came back off the umpire's chest protector and got him in the ear.
Yeah, it was the umpire's protector, not Kurt's.
Well, they get you coming and going, don't they, when you're catching?
No balls and a strike for Belt.
Think about the days before catchers started wearing helmets. You know, they just wore baseball caps under their mask. See a lot of guys get hit with the follow through on the bat.
Up and away from Mott. Braves have doubled up the Giants in runs and in hits so far tonight. Belt didn't get it. 2-2. As Joe suggested, Danny Santana will remain in the game. He plays second base. Brandon Phillips is done for the night. Lane Adams checks in to play left.
Hope they've got enough ice in the training room right now. Whew. Hammies, groins, whatever the case might be. Lovey and Jeff Porter will be busy.
Swing and a miss. Belt is retired on strikes. Good start for the inning for Jason Mott. And Tomlinson's coming up. Well, I think it's safe to say that Kane and Morris can't wait to get out of Atlanta. 7 earned runs in 4+ innings for Kane. Morris gave up 5 earned runs in 2/3 of an inning. Braves have hit 4 homers.
Tell you what, both of those home runs last inning by Brandon and by Lane went a long way up there in the Hank Aaron Terrace. Probably took out some wooden chairs up there.
No balls, 2 strikes for Kelby Tomlinson. And that's upstairs. 1-2. Milwaukee is next for Atlanta. Mike Fultonevich and Jimmy Nelson square off here in game 1 tomorrow night. That's poked to right field, something Tomlinson's done a lot in the series. And he has his first hit in the game, a 1-out single.
It's not always take 2 and go to right, but it's a little bit like that. The way he chokes up and just slashes at it. The Brewers will come to town in first place. One of the better stories in baseball this year. Clark Kent does it again.
Rolled foul by Joe Panik, who's hit a home run tonight. He's also walked and scored a second run. Braves saw the Brewers in late April and took 2 out of 3 in Milwaukee. Those were exciting games. Atlanta won 10-8. They won 11-3 and then dropped a 4-3 decision to Matt Garza in the series wrap up. Braves will see Nelson, Garza, and Davies.
Good offensive ball club. Coming into play today, they were second in home runs, fifth in runs scored.
Eric Thames, one of the great stories in the major leagues. Guy that had a couple of cups of coffee with some major league teams, couldn't hang on here, went over and became a star in Korea, and then the Milwaukee Brewers signed him to a 3-year deal. 1-2 pitch. And that's hammered into the seats, foul. It was said at the time that Thames had some real interesting demands before he decided to sign. He wanted to play every day and didn't want to worry about going to the minor leagues. Well, he got his wish when Milwaukee signed him, and he had a great answer at the time. Why'd you choose Milwaukee? Well, obviously they gave him the terms of the contract he liked, but he said, I like beer and Milwaukee has good beer.
Good enough.
We will not see Ryan Braun in the series. Braun's disabled and is about to go out on a rehab assignment, and Eric Villar also is out.
Boy, Villar seems to always give the Braves problems.
Nor will they have Neftali Feliz, whom they designated for assignment. Brewers might have to eat his $5 million contract. Popped up by Panic. Lane Adams will have plenty of room. He's there. And that's the second out. Here's your unlimited baseball break, brought to you by T-Mobile. And it is the Milwaukee Brewers, Atlanta's next opponent.
Yeah, second in homers, first in strikeouts in terms of the highest number, 716 of them. Just talking about Eric Thames. Pitching wise, they've got a good bullpen, real good. They're sixth as a staff in ERA, second in saves, and middle of the pack in strikeouts as a staff.
Hunter Pence lines one towards center. Ender will play that one cleanly. Tomlinson stops at second with the Giants down 6 runs. And here's Buster Posey. The way Posey's swinging the bat, he's in scoring position in the batter's box. 2 doubles and a homer.
Cutter, and Pence did a nice job of waiting on that, staying inside it. Posey has crushed 3 balls tonight. Got to be careful here. I mentioned earlier about Milwaukee. Bears repeating, we were looking at those stats on them. They are last coming into play today. They were last in the league in defense, having made 55 errors. The Braves were tied with San Diego next to last with 50. Colorado the fewest errors with 30.
And Colorado lost today 10-3 to Arizona. Swing and a miss to Posey. Good pitch choice there. 0-1. Mets trail in Los Angeles 3-2. That game's in the 4th. Mats and Hyun-Jin Ryu. New York trying to snap the Dodgers' 6-game winning streak.
Seeing more and more of these scores. Arizona 10-3 over Colorado. We've talked about the Cubs 11-1 over Miami. Houston 12-9 over Oakland. A lot of double-digit scoring around baseball over the last couple of weeks. Pained swing there from Posey.
Baseball says there are no differences in the manufacture of the baseball.
Okay. Sure is hot.
And the weather too. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
We can only hope.
Yeah. 12-6 Atlanta. Here's the pitch to Posey, and he swings and misses, lost the bat. So Mott finally solves the riddle of Buster Posey. His perfect night is done. Atlanta comes up in the home 6th. Has enjoyed the beat the freeze promotion. The Braves bullpen loves it too.
I think they like him better than anybody. They're trying to help a guy out.
And down goes Frazier.
Oh, looked like he was trying to change lanes.
Oh man.
And Arodys Vizcaíno can't control himself.
That's been a great promotion. And so here we go to the home sixth. Kurt Suzuki's coming up. And that missed. 1 ball, no strikes. One and one your count. Well, chance for the Braves to keep up their great work at home. If they win this one, they'll be 5-2 on this homestand.
A lot of good chicken scratchings on that scorecard.
I mean, that's almost Pete Van Wieren neat.
Keep it going, sir. Now he's got the names in ink, but it looks like he might be doing the scoring in pencil.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Popped up. That's hit towards Slater in center. And he puts it away for the first out. Time for our SunTrust confidence play of the game. To say the Braves are swinging the bats well is a gross understatement.
Last 9 games, averaging over 6.5 runs per game. 14 homers in the last 9. Things are looking good. 6-3 over that stretch.
Dansby Swanson's got a pair of hits in 3 tries. He scored a run and takes downstairs. Chance for the Braves with a win today to go to 18-17 since losing Freddie Freeman to his broken wrist.
Chan has a good note over here. Give it to you after this pitch. Between May 21st and June 18th, 16 games at home. The Braves hit 8 homers in those 16 games. In the last 4 games, June 19th to tonight, they've hit 9. Those would all be against the Giants, right?
Crick trying to work his first full major league inning here in the 6th inning. He debuted in the 5th. In relief of Kane and Morris.
Well, he can make a lot of points with his teammates if Crick is quick and throwing strikes.
Again, this was the worst of all possible scenarios for Bruce Bochy tonight and the Giants. Rain delay, long game, long flight home, and they are staring at a 1-7 road trip. Popped up. Shallow right. Panic is there. He's got it, and Dansby's retired. 2 outs. And again, the Giants have 3 with the Mets, then 3 with the high-flying Colorado Rockies coming up. So it's not going to be any easier for the Giants, even though they get back home.
And then they come right back to the East. Is that right? They play the Pirates?
I think so.
I don't know who else, but
because there was some talk that if one of these games got rained out, there was a mutual off day on July 3rd. Yeah, they come back after their game with Colorado on Wednesday the 28th. They go to Pittsburgh and then Detroit. and then back to San Francisco to play the Marlins. We'll have a long road trip, of course, before the All-Star break, so Major League Baseball can take over their home site to get ready for the All-Star festivities. Camargo shoots one out of play, foul. And it's 0-2.
Johan's cooled off just a little bit, but he still had good at bats. Picked up a sacrifice fly in the 5th inning.
Little number right back to the mound. And that is a quick inning to the Atlanta 6th inning. 3 up, 3 down. We go to the 7th. All-Stars with the Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot. Vote at Braves.com/vote and catch all of the excitement of the 88th MLB All-Star Game, brought to you by MasterCard, July 11th, live on Fox from Miami. Ian Kroll is on for a tune-up. Braves have a big lead, 12-6. Slater coming up to start things for the Giants. We're in the 7th. And Kroll misses high, 1 ball, no strikes.
Kroll pitched 2 nights ago, gave up a couple of hits and a run, but it was unearned.
Two balls and a strike.
This guy's been impressive this series, hasn't he?
I'm really impressed, and they are desperately looking for somebody to seize the left field job. Out in the Bay. Dump toward right. Long run Markakis. He's going to get there near the line. He took away a double perhaps from Slater, who's 2 for 3 now on the night. They've gotten very little production from left field for the last couple of years in San Francisco. Pence has been hurt the last 2 years for them. It's been one stopgap player after another for Bruce Bochy and the Giants. But maybe Slater's a guy that can stick. He's done some good things in this series, including tonight. Crawford swings and misses. 0-1. He's 0 for 3. And I've got him 1 for 16 in the series.
Yeah.
To left and late Adams. 2 outs.
But when they came to town, their pitching staff was last in the league in road ERA. They'd given up more home runs than any other team on the road. And tonight was one of those cases where their offense really stepped up early. Gave Matt Cain some runs to work with, and those numbers reared their ugly heads again.
And when you factor in the fact that they're not scoring runs, when you're not getting outs, that's a really tough way to play. And obviously without Bumgarner. I mean, that's a guy that they could count on every 5th day to give them not only a chance to stop a streak, but maybe start one with a well-pitched game. They've been without him a long time. But he's starting to make his way back. But it's going to be too little too late. Giants start action tonight 20 games under 500. 20.5 games behind the hated Dodgers in the National League West.
Been a long time since they've had to endure anything like this.
Popped up over near the Braves dugout into the seats. It's 2-1. Giants have been one of the elite teams in the 2010 decade. World title in 2010, 2012, 2014.
Couple of guys right there who have enjoyed a lot of success with the Giants through their 3 world championships, but left scratching their heads about what they're going to do this year.
The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. And it's 3 up, 3 down for Ian Kroll. We stretch in Atlanta. The Braves have a 6-run lead. Front 2-0. The Giants surged with 3 runs in the second and third to take a hefty lead over Jaime Garcia. But then the Braves bat started booming again with a huge 8-run 5th inning, and they haven't looked back. Lane Adams, his first big league homer, one of many highlights for the Atlanta offense. And Joe, as you like to say, straight A's in game 4 tonight.
Absolutely straight across, all A's on hats on the game summary tonight. And a special congratulations to Lane Adams on his first career homer. It was not a cheapie. Big nights for everybody up and down.
So the Braves are up in the 7th inning. And speak of the devil, here is Lane Adams to get things started. Now, anytime a player has a major league first, you can't help but be excited. First hit, first game, first strike, first out if you're a pitcher. But especially so for Lane Adams, who has taken so long to not only get to the big leagues, but get back to the major leagues. Lane Adams, in his professional career, this one's hit towards center, and Slater on the warning track hauls it in. Lane Adams signed as a professional in 2009. He got to the major leagues with the Royals in 2014 and got into 6 games. He didn't have a hit, but he scored a run. Then he went back to the minor leagues all of 2015, all of 2016. In fact, before this year, 789 minor league games before he got a chance to get back to the show with the Braves. Somebody saw something in Lane Adams. Braves got him as a minor league free agent in December, and here he is doing really good work.
Well, he had some power numbers, you know, and with the absence of power in baseball in a lot of players, if you find a guy like that you can stockpile in your AAA roster, for example, valuable piece. And he's making the best of his opportunity. 68 minor league homers. Man, can he run. A lot of things he can do to help you win a ball game off the bench, even, as proven tonight. But he can throw, he can run, and he has some pop. Hopefully everybody in Oklahoma was watching tonight.
Out at the plate, it's 0-2. Well, I like what you said about Tomlinson and about Lane Adams. The odds of a guy born in Talahena, Oklahoma, I think that's how you pronounce it.
That's correct.
He lives in Red Oak.
Yeah, he actually finished high school in Red Oak. But it's kind of like any small rural town. You got to go to the nearest town. There's a hospital. That'd be Talahena. Same thing with Tomlinson. He's from Elgin, born in Chickasha. That was where the nearest hospital was. But Elgin's just a little bitty burg, and the odds of those guys making it to the big leagues is pretty slim.
So you think about those odds, and then you think about what are the odds of a major league scout happening to come across a game that they're playing in, and they did something in that game that caught somebody's eye. I mean, just incredible odds.
Well, you told the story last night about Tomlinson and his uncle calling someone he knew and got him an opportunity to play some junior college ball in Liberal, Kansas. And that led to an opportunity to play at Texas Tech, which led to the Giants drafting him. It's all kind of a staircase thing for guys like that live in small towns, don't play travel baseball necessarily, and get seen at showcases. They show you what kind of heart they've got by just continuing to play and get better.
So we all fall in love with the #1 picks. We all fall in love with the big college guys that make it to the big leagues. It's always a special place for guys like Lane Adams and Tomlinson. who really, I think, represent kind of the essence of what the game's about. Small town. Baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and all that. And here they are. 1-2 pitch. Lifted by Kroll into left field, and Belt's going to make that play. And Atlanta's retired in inning number 7. Big night for the Braves. 12-6 is your score. We're getting to the late innings, Jerome Jurinovich.
Yes, we are indeed, Chip. And the big story here at the ballpark continues to be the guy.
Imagine that in the idea of having as many versatile players as you can. Remember, Matt Adams had an audition in the outfield with the Cardinals. I'll bet he'll try to get some work in the outfield during batting practice and early work as well, just to increase the flexibility options for Brian Snitker.
Yeah, Freddie's attempt to play third base, no matter how it turns out, won't be for lack of work.
Right.
They will put that in and be ready for the opportunity when it arises.
Aaron Hill's going to lead off. He bats for Crick, who made his major league debut.
2 1/3 innings, 1 hit.
2 1/3, 1 hit, scoreless innings for the young man who pitched in a big league game for the first time. He's in the encyclopedia forever now. What a thrill for him. And those are 2 1/3 valuable innings for the Giants, whose pitching has been shredded so far on the road trip. Crowd tonight 25,521. Braves have gone over 1.1 million in attendance. And a late night after a late start. An hour and 26-minute rain delay. Been a rough go of it for Aaron Hill at the plate for the Giants. Hill, who's played for Toronto and Arizona in his big league career, is 0 for 17 and has a 1 for 26 slide working. Full count. And over the screen, out of play. We'll do it again. Cubs beat Miami. Jerome told you about that. The other story, Kyle Schwarber, who was such a big star for the Cubs in the World Series and batted leadoff, was sent back to AAA today. Popped up. Lane Adams, long run. He's going to have plenty of room. And that's the first out of the inning. Schwarber was hitting $171 for Chicago. And they found an able man to replace him at the leadoff spot. That's Anthony Rizzo, their first baseman. He's been hitting extra base hits and homers all over the place since moving to first on the lineup card.
Yeah, the troubles for Schwarber really threw a wrinkle into what the Cubs were trying to do with their lineup by using him at the top.
Cubs really haven't gained any traction as they try to defend their world championship, but through all that, they're only a game and a half out of first place at 37 and 35. So if you're going to have a middling year in the first half, they're in the right division to overcome that. Cardinals are 4 back. Pittsburgh's 5 back. Cincinnati's 7.5 back, despite enduring a long 8-game losing streak for the Reds. But the real exciting thing, I think, is all the so-called small teams that, or small market teams, that have a chance to go to the playoffs this year if things continue. Houston's got a huge lead in the AL West. You've got Cleveland, Minnesota, and Kansas City separated by 3.5 games in the AL Central. Tampa Bay's only 3 games out.
They're playing pretty well. Even though they lost their center fielder Kiermaier, they're playing good baseball.
Yeah, Malik Smith had a 12-game hitting streak in place of Kiermaier. I think Logan Morrison's over 20 homers for him. And of course, we've mentioned Milwaukee leading the National League Central as the Brewers got to 40 wins tonight. They beat the Pirates. 1-2 pitch is way high to Brandon Belt. 2-2.
Twins have fallen on some hard times, though, after a real good run for 2.5 months, but they got smoked again tonight, 9-0 by the White Sox.
So I'm guessing there might have been a few put them on the board yeses in that game from Hawk Harrelson.
Could have been.
Fly ball by Belt. That's very well hit, and he's hit another homer. This one almost into the chop house, and Brandon Belt puts the Giants on the board here. It's now 12-7.
Well, he never fails to deliver. I said he's always hits 1 or 2 homers against the Braves. That's his 2nd homer in the series. And I was hoping you would deliver a swung on and belted, but you didn't.
Nope. Too late for that. And that pitch was up from Mr. Kroll as we've approached and passed the midnight hour. Right there, a strike to Tomlinson. 1 ball and 1 strike.
7 homers tonight.
Braves have allowed 52 homers here. They've now hit 35. So that's 87 home runs at SunTrust Park. Fly ball headed for the gap. Adams and Inciarte converge. It'll be Adams, and he drops the ball. So Tomlinson reaches. That'll be a two-base error.
That's what happens when you have two guys who play center field and play it and cover a lot of ground. Get right between them. Ender's been running all over the ballpark tonight, and then maybe a little bit of a miscommunication in a way in that Lane probably saw Ender out of the corner of his eye.
So Panic the batter, runner at second. And a strike. Kroll's thrown 34 pitches. His 35th is on the way, and it's lined over second. Here comes the runner around third. Tomlinson's going to score. That makes it a 12-8 game, and it's getting a little too close for comfort. Thank you very much, because you've got Pence and Posey and Slater coming up.
Yeah, I liked it when it was one more than a grand slam. Now down to 4.
So will Brian Snitker give Kroll one more batter here? Well, first Suzuki's going to walk very slowly out to the mound. This guy who had just gotten up. So this will buy a few more tosses for him in the Atlanta pen. And we'll see if that's going to be the end of the line for Kroll. I think the answer to that is going to be yes. So here comes Brian Snitker. Kroll is out after 35 pitches. He went an inning and a third. Ian surrendered 2 hits, 1 run so far. He struck out a batter, didn't walk anyone. So the 8th inning continues for the Giants. Runner at first with 1 man out. We'll see how it works out for Atlanta in a moment. Stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. Download the app and take Fox Sports South and Braves baseball with you wherever you go. It's presented by Nissan. Chip and Joe with you from SunTrust Park. A very long night, but Atlanta leads 12-8. And Arodys Vizcaino will hopefully say enough's enough and end this inning. He's got Hunter Pence digging in first. Pence 1 for 4 on the night. And a good choice, strike 1.
With only one out, he and Posey could make this very interesting if you don't make some good pitches.
"20 runs, 28 hits, 2 errors, and 10 combined men left on base between the Giants and Braves so far.
Jaime Garcia is going to feel fortunate again. His last 2 starts, he's worked 10 innings total, and he's given up 12 runs, all earned, and he's going to get 2 no decisions.
Braves bats bailed him out with an 8-run 5th tonight. The pitch is poked to right. Markakis on the run, won't get that. That's headed for the corner. Panic on his way to third will stop Pence with a double. So on a 1-2 pitch, Hunter Pence doubles into the right field corner, and the Braves are giving the Giants an awful lot of daylight here in the wee hours of the morning.
High breaking ball again, got under that one. He got under the slider, and Pence got on top of it. His eyes got big and raked it to right. He may be unorthodox and unconventional, but he can play. Hunter Pence.
So Posey digs in and grounds to short. That'll get home a run. Braves trade out number 2 for the Giants' 9th run. Posey's had a good night. Put it in play. And that's his 3rd RBI. Panic scores his 3rd run. And Hunter Pence took 3rd on the throw to first. So close the book on Kroll. An inning in a 3rd, 3 runs, 2 hits.
Only 2 of those should be earned.
The late Adams drop cost Kroll another run. So here's Slater. Austin Slater singled, doubled, walked, and flat out in order tonight.
Actually, maybe only 1 earned, because Posey's ground ball would have been the 3rd out.
There you go. Bouncing ball left side, and the peg to first almost pulled Adams off the bag. Camargo loaded up, but Slater's retired, and that's all for the Giants. They get 3 in the 8th to make a game of it. It's 12-9. Bruce Bochy goes to his bullpen again. It's right-hander George Contos. We've seen him in this series.
Yeah, third of an inning a couple of nights ago. Gave up 2 hits, but no runs. No walks. Had a strikeout. 32nd game for him. Fastball, slider, but more cutters than anything else.
Well, maybe he'll leave one in the wheelhouse of Nick Markakis again. Nick has had a gigantic night. 6 for 16 in the series, 4 for 4 tonight, including a 2-run homer in his first at bat in the opening inning.
You'd think that would raise your average more than 10 points at this stage of the season, but that's what it did.
We told you Nick Markakis is closing in on 2,000 hits. 29 away. Only Robbie Cano and Miguel Cabrera have more hits than Nick in that stretch. Adrian Gonzalez for the Dodgers out with a bad back. Little chopper. And the race to the bag won by Buster Posey, and that's the end of the perfect night for Markakis, but still a great 4 for 5 night. His first 4-hit game of the season.
3 big RBIs too, including his 2-run homer in the first.
Danny Santana did something you don't often see in a big league inning. He scored a run before he had an at bat in the 5th inning. Remember, he came on as a pinch runner for Matt Kemp and then had an RBI hit of his own, part of the 8-run 5th inning for the Braves.
Did it all in 1 inning.
Yep. 13 men came to the plate. And an even count, 1 ball, 1 strike. So if my calculations are correct, on a night when Lane Adams hit his first big league homer, Jason Hirsch ought to be the pitcher of record for Atlanta. And if this score holds, he would get his first big league win. Oh, something went flying behind the plate.
Piece of equipment. Oh, is that foot guard down there? Got ripped off. Little Velcro always helps put it back on.
And those pads you see that are behind the calves of Hundley, those are knee saver pads. A little extra help for the men in harness. Full count pitch and a swing and a miss. Santana is out number 2. So first strikeout for Contos. And here's another chance for Matt Adams, who hit his 12th home run in his 31st Braves game. He's got 13 homers overall. Remember, he hit one in this park while he was still a member of the St. Louis Cardinals.
I have no idea what you just said. Couldn't hear you. But you know, Adams had a home run for the Cardinals before he joined the Braves.
Right. You got half of it. He's at 12 and 31 games with the Braves. One-0 pitch. I know the music is exciting. I know it's entertaining. But at this late hour, if I'm living in the Battery and I'm hearing that at 12:10, 12:15 in the morning, I'm not a happy camper. Kick save and a beauty by Ramon de Jesus, the umpire at first base.
He did a good job here. First game of this series behind the plate.
First major league umpire from the Dominican Republic. What a wonderful badge of honor that is. First the pitch to Adams and rolled foul. We'll do it again.
Hope Matt Kemp and Brendan Phillips are okay. Able to get back in there tomorrow.
This one bounced into the Braves dugout. It's high, 2-2. Seattle's leading Detroit at home 5-3. That game's in the 7th. Dodgers and Mets are now tied 3-3, also in the 7th inning at Dodger Stadium. Those are the only other two games still in progress. Pitch. Adams took a shot toward left, fouled it away.
And the Mets have run into hard times out west for sure. They lost 3 in a row to the Dodgers and 7 of their last 10.
Another one of their pitchers got hurt. Zach Wheeler went to the DL.
Yeah.
Biceps problem. Here comes the 2-2 for Matt Adams. Rocketed down the right field line, but he pulled it foul.
Those guys played that perfectly. Do not get in the way of that. Let it hit a seat. Drop down, pick it up. Get your hand out of the way.
Giants have a shift on for Adams. And time is called.
Buster Posey hadn't been in a catcher's crouch all night, but he's in one now at first base.
Loop toward left, and Belt won't get there. It's a foul ball. What do you think the Giants will have on their charter? I'm sure the guys will be hungry after getting on the bus, getting all the equipment packed up, making the long drive down to Hartsfield, get on the plane.
I'm confident it'll be salmon.
Right. Well, that's true. It's very popular.
It's pretty much all people eat in Atlanta now. At least that's what I'm told.
Yeah. Maybe a salmon breakfast scramble. I mean, they're going to get home about 6 a.m. just in time for rush hour. That'll be fun.
Catfish sliders.
A shot off Cantos, who recovers and gets to the bag. Sounds yummy. And we go to the 9th inning. It's 12-9. Atlanta leads. Fireworks show in the Southeast, brought to you by Gas South. Go to Braves.com/promotions and get your tickets today. Braves have a 3-run lead. It is a save situation for Jim Johnson.
Those are cool masks.
Like those masks. Jim blew a save here the other night when Hunter Pence hit a home run. He's 13 out of 18 on the year. 5 of his 13 saves have been of the 3-run variety this year. And he almost hit Brandon Crawford. Crawford 0 for 4. Biggest play in the game. Joe called it in the 5th inning, perhaps, when Matt Kemp tracked down Crawford's long fly ball in the left center field gap. If he doesn't catch it, the Giants might have scored a couple more runs, and it would have been really tough for the Braves the way things were rolling for the Giants offense. But once that catch was made, Atlanta was able to shut him down for 2 more innings before they got 3 in the 8th to make a game of it.
It's funny how a play like that can be such a difference maker, even though it's in the earlier stages of the ball game. Giving them an even larger cushion.
2/3 of an inning and 1 hit.
1 ball, 2 strikes for Crawford. Dansby behind the second base bag caught that humpback liner. And Crawford 0 for 5, 1 for 18 in this series.
You'll really enjoy that flight back.
So there's the first out of the 9th inning. Here's Hundley. He's got an infield hit in 4 tries tonight.
Yeah, that was the scary one off the shoulder of Hirsch, that base hit. Fortunately, Jason got his face out of the way and looked like it hit right off that patch on his shoulder.
Shallow right. That's going to drop in for a blue pit. So Denard Span's going to grab a bat and come on and pinch hit. And he's going to try to reach any way he can because Brandon Belt is on deck, and Belt hit a home run last time up.
Yeah, I know that no one in that Braves dugout, and especially Jim Johnson on the mound, wants to see Belt come up this inning.
1 strikeout, 1 inning, 1 strikeout.
With a chance to tie it.
Anthony's pretty pitch a strike. It's a 3-run lead, but it is a nervous 3-run lead. One ball, 1 strike.
It's a long day. It's a long day for all participants. A lot of guys get here early. You think about Freddie Freeman getting here early for his ground balls. Guys taking some extra batting practice might get here, 2 o'clock.
Little pop into shallow left. Lane Adams comes on, can't get it. Everybody's safe, and the nightmare scenario is upon us because Brandon Belt is going to come up with a chance to tie the game.
Right off the end of the bat, two of them. One that drops in right, one that drops right here in left. And now a guy up there who can certainly make a difference.
And now Kurt Suzuki wants to talk things over. This is what we don't want to see happen here in the ninth.
Pitch that was up, he jumped on it too. And be careful on the first pitch here.
Little late. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He's got power to all fields, but he's trying to take advantage of that right field porch. Tried to go out around that pitch.
Trouble with this rally with the bottom of the order is you've got Tomlinson, then Panic, then Pence. I mean, it doesn't get any easier. After Brandon Belt, 2 balls and a strike.
Well, you can see that Jim Johnson's trying his dead level best to try to keep the ball away from him after watching his swing this at bat and the home run. Who knew when he came in the ball game in the 5th inning that he'd be in this spot?
All will be forgiven with 1 more strike.
And again, trying his best, Brandon Belt. You get out in front on one.
The payoff, line foul. Bases are loaded with 1 out.
What a revolting development.
So here's Tomlinson. This guy seemingly puts the ball in play every time he's in the batter's box.
Yeah, he doesn't appear to have a lot of power, but he makes a lot of contact and he runs real well. He's tough to double up. And there's only 1 out.
No place to put him. Panic on deck.
And no one loosening in the Atlanta pen.
Little chopper. Safe at first, safe at second, and a run is in. Santana played that as poorly as you could possibly play it. All he has to do is flip the ball to first and get the second out. Instead, Atlanta gets nothing. The Giants get a run, and they've got the bases loaded still.
Better yet, with the runners stopping in the baseline, flip the ball to second base and cut down what would be the tying run from getting into scoring position. Got greedy, tried to get both outs, got none. But Belt, representing the tying run, makes it into scoring position too.
And now it is time to panic, because he's up with the bases loaded, 1 out in a 2-run game. And then Pence waiting next. An RBI for Tomlinson, who puts the ball in play. The pitch fouled away, 1-1 the count.
Panic's had a good night, including the 5th inning when he led off with a homer. That was off Jaime Garcia. Now the Braves have some action in the bullpen.
Three balls and a strike.
Nothing wrong with that pitch. And it was coming back. Good job by Kurt, but he didn't really need to frame it that much. It was a good pitch.
Panik was trying to jump a fastball, didn't get it at 95 miles an hour. Three balls, 2 strikes. Fly ball left. That's playable for Adams. The throw will come into third. The Braves concede the run. It's a 12-11 game. Panik with a sacrifice fly, his 3rd RBI of the night. The other runners hold at first and second, and now Hunter Pence stands in the way of Jim Johnson. Jim would definitely like a redeemer against Hunter Pence, who did this in the 9th inning last night.
Dead center field. Tied the game.
Strike 1. Buster Posey's on deck. The Braves want to see him next year. Pitch. Little roller right side. Santana's there. Throw to first. Close play, but in time. And the Braves hang on and beat the Giants. Had them all the way. 12-11 is your wild final score in Game 4 of this series. Braves take 3 games from the San Francisco Giants. Lane Adams with his first big league homer, part of a 12-run, 16-hit attack for the Braves, who held on to win Joe by 1 run.
Crazy, crazy, crazy. Long night, but a good night.
All's well that ends well for Atlanta. Adams and Adams hit a homer. Jason Hirsch picked up his first major league win, and Jim Johnson the save in the 9th inning. Plenty to talk about on the Braves Live post-game show presented by Xfinity. It's coming right up.